Thank you. Hello, everybody, and thank you. I want to say, first of all, big thank you to Michał and Edita for hosting me here. Thank you to Tiel and Antonina for their amazing talks. I really enjoyed them. And I just think this place is super cool. You know, it reminds me of being back home. It feels like there is a discussion to be had about art in a place like this, sometimes even way more than in a fancy event or in a gallery for some reason, you know. I mean, the projector and everything is just really inspiring, and I really mean it like that, you know. I prepared a little short story / monologue. I wanted to do something different, and yeah, I hope you come in with the journey. And it's mostly about music, but I think it can resonate with everyone who is doing anything different as well. And so let's begin. Are you ready? Yes. Let's go. The year is 2025. You find yourself in the middle of a dream. Maybe you're performing in front of thousands of people. Maybe you meet your biggest idol, and they tell you that your art is fantastic, as you expected, of course. Perhaps you hear the most beautiful symphony, or your brain has devised the most impossibly good movie you have ever seen. Suddenly, you hear the alarm. Ah, shit. You're overcome with dread. You haven't picked up your instrument in weeks. The last song you ever wrote came out 3 years ago. The world is overcome with instability, political unrest, hatred, genocide, insanity. Why would anyone even care about art? You pick up your phone and you scroll. An AI singer just got a $3 million record deal. What the fuck does that even mean? You say to yourself. Anyways, you have bills to pay. All of your friends do. And it seems like they all barely manage to do it. Oh, money, money, money. It's always about money. If I had the means, I'd do the most amazing art ever. Or rather, if I make the most amazing art ever, I'll have the means? Wait a second. If I don't have the means, does that mean that my art is not good enough? Your internal monologue has become increasingly toxic the past years. Art is a competition, and you are losing. Dun, dun, dun. Listen. Just listen. Oh, if you'd only listen. The creative urge, the most human of all needs. Creative power, the most human of all powers, subjected to the most evil logic of capital. You yourself, the grand architect of your artistic vision, are now a mere profile on Spotify or Instagram. The byproduct of your unique human experience is now only significant if you have enough followers, likes, or monthly listeners. We cannot accept this reality. You have jumped from a dream straight into a nightmare. And I suggest we meet in the middle. My name is Antonio. Some people call me Chicho. I come from Chile, as you can see there. Very nice country, I recommend it. I'm a professional bass player, music producer, composer, artist, the whole thing, blah, blah. Most recently also became a music manager. And it's funny because when you look like at talks, right, like we've been saying, okay, this is a talk. I was thinking, I don't know, TED Talks, whatever, they usually market the speakers as like successful, right? Like a successful entrepreneur, successful musician. And I wouldn't call that myself, you know, by any means. And I don't think anyone needs to be successful to be an accomplished artist. We mostly relate success to things like money, fame, recognition, etc. I think that's horrible, because it makes it seem as these are the parameters to define whether an artist is good or not. And what does that mean anyways? What is a good or bad artist? Should bad artists stop making art? Do we renounce the caves of Altamira, 30,000 years old, just because they actually look kind of shitty? I mean, like, you know, these guys were not really Michelangelo. So why should your art be any less valid or less historically important? And I can tell you, the guys who did this, they probably didn't get paid much either. So that's not a measure of success, you know, yet we still consider this to be a marvel of humanity. So there's a point that I'm trying to make here, is that, in my opinion, it's very important to separate art, which is a human discipline, from the art business. The art business meaning the structures of capital that utilize art products to turn in a profit, all right? And that's a hard one to take in. Like, you can be an amazing artist and still not have any ability to make art products. You could be the most talented person, and you might not have any possibility to make any money from it. And so many times I've had this conversation with friends that think that they're not real artists because they don't live from it, because they need to have a job in order to survive. And I think that's kind of ridiculous. Of course you need a fucking job to survive, you know? I mean, I honestly believe we're witnessing the most dystopian collapse of our economy, of our planet, of the world as we know it so far. And it's not just artists that are struggling, all the people are struggling. So of course you have a fucking day job, like you're not gonna live from art right away, right? And if you wanna live from art, you will have to make art products, which will have to fit the demands of the art business. And of course, the demands of consumers. And you mustn't forget that consumers, they're also human. And however contrived it is, your art product can elicit a sublimating experience in these humans. Now let's just stop and look at the music industry for a second. Boo. Some of you may know that the record business was born strictly from the possibility to sell gramophones, and then vinyl, then cassettes, and CDs, all right? I can go more into detail into this if you ask me, not right now. But that's the story of the music industry, basically, in one picture. So the artists we know and love, you know, Bob Dylan, Prince, the Beatles, come on, who doesn't like the Beatles? All of the greatest, they could only become legends because the record companies wanted to sell us, the consumers, CDs and cassettes and vinyls and whatever the hell is that they're selling right now. And we still, sorry?
Johnny Cash.
Johnny Cash, I mean, come on. Anybody here like music? Any of these artists? Yeah, fuck yeah. You know, we still love them, our beloved marketing puppets. I mean, they made the songs that impacted all of our lives. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love music, it's my life. But have you ever stopped to think why music has been reduced to only songs, ideally less than 4 minutes long? Why every single musician is expected to record and perform commodified versions of the art form? You didn't even choose the rules of the game, and yet you get frustrated when you don't win, when you might not even be aware that these rules are in place. That's something that TL as well mentioned. So many things that don't get talked about when you go into this game, the music industry or the art business or whatever. And things are only getting like more confusing. I mean, I don't even want to talk about streaming. I think it's kind of a waste of time. And I'm sure most people in this room still have Spotify on their phone, knowing how shitty we all say it is. Spotify is this like pornographic Uber Eats for music that allows you to listen to whatever you want, whenever you want. And it's arbitrarily recommending you music that might not even be made by a human just to make someone more rich. Of course, we've all heard about this book. I'm going to go into detail later. So we can all pretend we don't use Spotify. You know, it can be our dirty little secret, all of us in this room. But don't expect anybody's dirty little secret to give you any money or have any impact in your career. Hopefully not in your art, God forbid. And let's get back to your art. Did you ever stop and consider why you do it? Do you do it because you love it? I think that's pretty cool. Do you do it because you want fame and recognition? Then make sure you make an art product that will lead to those things. Learn the rules of the game if you want to play it. But art is not a game. It's a discipline. It's a sacred tradition that existed way before the concept of money was even invented. And if you want your art to reach people, you better learn about people. Learn about history, the human condition. Learn about yourself and your fears, and you might help other people overcome their own. Hone your craft and keep your ears sharp. Listen. Just listen. Oh, if you'd only listen. And when you've listened enough, take a pause for a second to see if it's even worth it to talk yet. Do you know what you want to say? Do you know why you want to say it? then say it. Say it. Say it. Listen to your art. It lives. I think the name of the whole thing is great, by the way. It lives inside you for a reason. It wants to come out. And when it's out, show it to the world. Tell your friends and your family so that they might tell their friends and their families if they were moved by it. The rest is just a game. Thank you for the time. That's the end of the short story. Round of applause. Yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, when Misha invited me to speak here, I already knew that I wanted to make something weird and artsy and performance arty because I want to practice that, you know. And I know it's kind of bleak, dark. It leaves a lot of room for interpretation, and I think that's what art is supposed to do. Now, going straight to the facts, I've been working in the music industry for so many years already, and I've been through the biggest disappointments of my life and the biggest, most fulfilling moments of my life. And it all comes with it. But the one thing I can tell you is that I've learned that sincerity goes a long way in art. Being sincere with your art and being sincere with yourself and others around you, I think it goes a long way in building a community. Now, the way I presented it, it feels black and white, but I don't think it is. You know, most musicians, you know, are probably trying to make the most honest art possible while still trying to play the game. The reality is that all of these things, making music, art, whatever you do, they cost money, and you need to invest in your art because you got to pay the people that work it. And in that sense, I think having a day job is a good thing because it enables you to make better art or whatever the money is coming from. You also mentioned exceptionally wealthy backgrounds, whatever it is that you have in your table, right? And if you have the means, you will be able to invest in the right people to help you develop yourself as an artist. And these other people are super important as well. Like the whole point of the story that I wrote it is that it makes you feel like you're kind of alone in it. And this is like a soliloquium where you're with yourself and struggling against this whole world. But we are not alone in this, you know? That's the whole point of the story is that like it's a team game, you know? You try and get the best team that you can. Always, people that you admire, professionals that play the game but also care about art. I don't think they're like mutually exclusive, you know? There is art in the game, right? I mean, I'm not gonna say that the Beatles or Prince or anyone is not art. It's quite the opposite. So you need people who care about these things, about music, about connections, about art in general. And I think people will only care about your art if you're making good art. Now I say, if nobody cares, then maybe read some books, go to an exhibition, practice your instrument, learn from other artists, and try again and again. And then maybe next time someone might care a bit more about your art. And yeah, I'm happy to talk a bit more about myself in questions or whatever. Maybe it's too much room for interpretation. But I just wanted to present something different. I also want to recommend some reads that have really shaped my perspective of not only the music industry, but art in general. If you're interested in like some mafia shit, Hitman is a fantastic book that goes through the first like Wild West years of the music industry, and you see how much of extortion was in putting these records into the radio. The records you all know and love, well, some DJ got beat up to play them in the 50s, you know? And it's really a fantastic book. It's kind of a piece of history nowadays because the music industry just isn't like that anymore. But I think it gives a lot of perspective to what was going on behind Purple Rain, or whatever your favorite song is. Then The Hatred of Music is a fantastic essay. It's a bit of a heavy read, but it's by Pascal Quignard, and it's kind of this like contemporary critique of music, and that it's become so detached from the original concept of art, which is this like, I believe it's this innate human dimension in which we get to express and catharsize emotions together. And this book kind of paints the image like, if you don't like music, this world must be horrible because you are assaulted by music everywhere you go. I mean, we even had music on the break before I spoke, you know? And yeah, it's a really heavy read, but it's really cool, and it kind of grasps on a lot of other things. Mood Machine by Liz Pelly, if you want to hate Spotify a bit more. I think this one goes without saying. And I wanted to make a special mention to someone who has really inspired my own perspective in life and culture in general. It's Mark Fisher. It's a British, well, he's deceased now. He sadly committed suicide. He's like a political theorist. He wrote this Capitalist Realism, which is this very visionary book in which he kind of portrays this reality that we live in right now, where we feel like the system is inescapable and everything that is within the system gets absorbed. So like greenwashing, pinkwashing, even something that is for a good cause, it gets turned into this like marketing tool. And that's a very bad summary of the book. You should read it. It's like 70 pages long. And then Ghost of My Life by Mark Fisher as well. I think he was really a visionary in seeing how music is behaving in like late capitalism, the way like culture starts eating itself, is very reliant on like nostalgia, and kind of we're inhabiting these old abandoned buildings that have been long abandoned before, and we use them just to, it's like a Weekend at Bernie's, you know, or the Simpsons episode where Mr. Burns dies and they like make him look like he's not dead. Well, that kind of paints the picture. I really recommend Fisher. Yeah, you should check those books out. They really shape my perspective of music and arts. And if you want to talk a bit more, you can always follow me. I do a lot of different music, all kinds of genres and stuff, concerts, whatever you want about music. I'm also a pretty sick bass player. I think Dita can confirm that. So that's my Instagram, and this is my website. There's only a contact form there, but if you want to write me an email, you want to have a coffee or talk about music or whatever it is that you want to talk about, I'm happy to get to know you all a bit more. And I want to say thank you. Thank you for your time and attention. Thank you for having me.